Welcome to This Explainer. We're looking at a truly massive, seismic shift in the landscape of women's sports today. The WNBA is entering a completely new stratosphere right now, and we've got the exact roadmap for how it's all going to play out. Today, we're breaking down the historic 2026 WNBA season schedule. It's a schedule that doesn't just highlight the league's exploding popularity, but really sets the stage for what will be the most visible season in the sport's history. Let's get into it. Now, to truly appreciate where we are right now, we actually have to rewind all the way back to 2002. Just to put that into perspective for a second, a lot of the explosive young rookies entering the league today, they weren't even born yet. That was literally the last time the WNBA was broadcast on NBC. Just let that sink in. We are witnessing a 24-year reunion here. And this return isn't just a brief cameo either. It anchors an absolutely incredible, landmark 11-year media rights deal that brings the highest level of women's basketball back to one of the absolute biggest platforms in media. All right, so let's dive right into our roadmap for today. First, we'll cover a historic broadcast return. Then, the expanding league map. Third, generational stars and storylines. Fourth, marquee matchups to watch. And finally, we'll wrap up with the playoff picture. Section 1. A historic broadcast return. This is truly a milestone moment for the league. It's pretty easy to get lost in the hype, but let's validate it right from the top. Rick Cordella, the president of NBC Sports, flat out called this a milestone moment, specifically pointing out the league's unprecedented popularity. And look, this isn't just network PR talk. It's a direct reflection of the incredible product on the floor. This new agreement is specifically designed to showcase championship-caliber teams on the sport's biggest stages. The network clearly knows they've caught lightning in a bottle here. And their commitment is massive. We're talking 22 regular season games being broadcast across NBC, Peacock, and NBCSN this season. That is a huge footprint. It ensures that fans like us have consistent, premium access to the games right from opening weekend all the way into the fall. To back this all up, NBC is rolling out a whole suite of exciting new broadcast properties. We're getting WNBA Game Time for standard game windows, a brand new 30-minute studio show called WNBA Showtime, and the incredibly highly anticipated Sunday night basketball primetime slot. But honestly, maybe the most fun detail of the whole shebang is the return of the iconic Round Ball Rock theme song. They are brilliantly blending that classic 90s basketball nostalgia with a completely modern primetime showcase for today's elite athletes. It's going to be awesome. You can also really tell just how much weight the network is throwing behind this coverage when you look at their on-air talent roster. It is absolutely star-studded. You've got actual legends of the game like Sue Bird and Cheryl Miller breaking down the action as studio analysts. Then Maria Taylor and Lashina Robinson are hosting, with Noah Eagle and Zora Stevenson handling the play-by-play. They are treating this coverage with the absolute highest level of prestige, and it shows. Moving on to Section 2, the expanding league map and how they're growing the footprint. The new schedule totally reflects this massive growth by putting the new franchises front and center. For instance, the Portland Fire get their very first NBC spotlight on May 25th, going up against the powerhouse New York Liberty. Then, the Toronto Tempos step onto the national stage on July 20th against the defending champion Las Vegas Aces. It's so cool. The league is literally testing their brand new squads against the absolute best right out of the gate. We're also seeing the Golden State Valkyries securing some major screen time in this deal. They've got multiple national appearances slated against heavyweights like the Aces, the Sparks, and the Wings. To me, this proves the league's expansion strategy is just firing on all cylinders, integrating these fresh, hungry markets directly into the national conversation right away. All right, Section 3, generational stars and storylines, featuring some truly culture-shifting talent. Now, what's really interesting about this is, well, if you want to know who the network values most, just look at the data. It tells a very clear story. The Las Vegas Aces, led by Aja Wilson, and the Indiana Fever, led by Caitlin Clark, both secured the maximum number of appearances in this media package, with 5 games each. It's the ultimate contrast, right? You have the established, dominant veteran powerhouse going up against the young, explosive phenomenon. And the schedule is just packed with these incredible micro-narratives. You'll definitely want to circle May 24th on your calendar. That is when the Dallas Wings take on the 2024 WNBA champion, New York Liberty. The Wings boast back-to-back #1 overall draft picks, Paige Buchers and Ozzie Fudd, who actually won the 2025 NCAA championship together at UConn. And they'll be going head-to-head with reigning champions Brianna Stewart and Sabrina Ionescu. It is quite literally youth and potential colliding directly with proven, undeniable greatness. But hey, the star power definitely doesn't stop there.
Right from tip-off, we have some other massive storylines to follow. Angel Reese will be making her highly anticipated home debut for the Atlanta Dream. Meanwhile, the number 8 overall pick, Flau'jae Johnson, enters the league with the Seattle Storm. The sheer density of recognizable, culture-shifting talent in the WNBA right now is just staggering.
Which brings us to Section 4, Marquee Matchups to Watch. These are your must-see events. Let's map out your early season timeline here. Everything kicks off with a massive doubleheader on May 17th. We get A'ja Wilson's Aces against Angel Reese's Dream, which is followed immediately by Caitlin Clark's Fever taking on Flau'jae Johnson's Storm. Talk about a loaded opening night. Then, as we discussed, there's that epic May 24th Wings versus Liberty clash. But all of this really builds toward a historic television moment in the middle of the summer. So, the crucial point is right here on July 12th. The Indiana Fever visit the Las Vegas Aces for the primetime debut of Sunday Night Basketball. And look, this isn't just any game. It's a direct rematch of the dramatic 2025 WNBA semifinals, where the Aces narrowly beat the Fever in a 5-game series. Putting this specific rivalry in the Sunday night spotlight, that shows a brilliant understanding of exactly what the fans want to see. And this brilliantly illustrates how the schedule cleverly leverages personal player narratives to draw in both local and national fans. Take August 9th, for example. The 2025 Rookie of the Year, Paige Bueckers, returns to her home state of Minnesota as the Lynx host the Wings. It's exactly this type of thoughtful, smart scheduling that elevates a standard regular season game into a highly emotional homecoming event. Let's wrap things up with Section 5, the playoff picture and the championship chase. Now, this new media deal ensures that when the stakes are at their absolute highest, the access remains premium. A multi-platform approach is going to handle the playoffs with the semifinals streaming across NBC and Peacock. When we finally reach the WNBA Finals, Games 1 and 4 will be simulcast on both NBC and Peacock, with the rest of the series available exclusively on Peacock. Basically, you won't miss a single second of the championship chase.
So, what does this all mean? Why does all of this matter for you, as a fan following this evolution? The takeaway is incredibly simple: unprecedented, constant visibility. From the May tip-off all the way through the October finals, fans now have continuous, premium access to the absolute highest level of women's basketball. There are no more gaps in coverage. The story of the season is going to be told on the biggest platforms available.
Which leaves us with this final thought. We're looking at a league integrating brand new expansion teams, armed with unprecedented culture-shifting star power, and finally being given the primetime billing it truly deserves. So as we eagerly await that opening tip-off, we have to ask, just how high is the ceiling for the WNBA's new era? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll see you next time.